When it comes to Hilti broadly, Hilti's a big company, international legacy brand. What do you think is a misconception or maybe something that doesn't align up? Like what are the myths to be busted about Hilti based on what people might think from perception?
So today, definitely Hilti is a known brand. We are known for the quality that we have. But on the other side, we are also known that this is the myth in the market today, that we are too expensive and we are not affordable for everyone. So this is being too expensive sometimes will drive customers toward different brands. And they don't even reach out to us because they feel that we are out of reach. We know that today in markets like Canada or in markets, where we have mature markets, the biggest problem today is their labor. The labor in construction cost a lot. We don't have a lot of skilled labor in the market. So companies who have some skill will tend to overpay them to keep them. So having the right tool in their hands will definitely help them to be more productive. And this is where we work, and this is where Hilti return on investment is grow exponentially, and we can definitely beat any competition on the market.
So why is it? Like, I don't say why is it, and we can start from scratch here, but like, is part of that just the equipment or the engineering that goes into the hardware, or do you think that there's an argument to be made that some of the more techie side of things are actually what help to facilitate that return on investment?
Yeah. So it's definitely not the tool itself. It is the tool. The tool is part of it. So this is the motor or the product or the machine that is working. Mm-hmm. But it's not only this, because let's be honest today. Like in terms of technology, when it comes to the tool itself, we are close. The competition can close the gap. In a couple of months, couple of years, when you launch something new, they will follow. But where we differentiate ourselves is within the service. It is how we bring the tool to be from a simple usage of, you have a tool that has a trigger, like you trigger and you work with it, toward having a tool that brings productivity from the performance itself, which is the machine, as well as everything that runs around it, everything that goes around the tool, which is how many times this tool would break, how can you ensure that those tools would be maintained, how can you ensure that when you open the tool out of the box and you use it for the first time, all the tools are very powerful, but what about in 2 months after the usage? What about in 6 months? So this tool, we keep it in the hands of the worker, which is the people who cost us the most as a construction company. Mm-hmm. But we don't keep track after. So we keep it to the deterioration of the project. And this is where if we lose productivity, we don't know, because there is nothing that will give us this indication as a company. And we lose productivity with the usage. We lose productivity with like not being able to maintain the proper tool or keeping aged tool in the hands of the workers. All these things will bring the productivity of the worker to be less than it should be.
And you guys have presumably you and your competition have good relationships with the end users, mm-hmm. right? But I've gotten the impression, and maybe I'm listening to the right or wrong people, you let me know. Yeah. Does Hilti's relationship with the workers, do you do better than the competition in the industry? Like, would you say that Hilti particularly excels at their relationship with end users and the presence that they have in sales?
Yeah, this is our business model. Like, we are the only company in this industry that has this unique business model where we have a direct sales team. So we only sell through direct sales team. So we have the direct relationship with our customers. I would say 90% of the business that we do today is done by having contacts, and people, customers or companies, construction companies would know who they deal with in terms of people. So they know the Hilti person, they know him by name. And we also know these people, so we build a relationship with them. So our story is not to sell over the shelf, and that's why our business model is different. Our story is to build a relationship, to build a long-term relationship, to have engagement, and have customers who are engaged. And
do you think that the conversations and in those relationships that you have and maintain, have you seen the conversations around technology shift in the past 5 to 10 years?
Sure.
I think. How has that come about? Because, we've seen the perception and the user experience with a variety of technologies change dramatically over the past 10, 15 years in the industry, and especially even in the past 5. Because Hilti has such a strong relationship with its clients and customers, what have you seen in talking about tech and data and OnTrack and all of these different tools? What's the perception like? What's the feedback you've gotten from them? Has there been a shifting point, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. Today is not, everybody knows it. It's not a secret that in the construction industry, there is a lot of challenges. Mm-hmm. And one of biggest challenge is definitely what we discussed is the labor, having the skilled labor. Second is having the most outcome out of, the investment you put in the labor. So having the most outcome out of the labor hour on a job site, right? And then, another challenge is, how to be able to improve your wrench time on a job site. Because job site is what make it, or the productivity on job site is what makes you profitable or not. Let's be honest. So if you can improve this wrench time on job site as a construction industry, this is where you make money. And customers, when I say customers, I'm talking about our customers, so our partners in this industry, in fact, they have this huge need for something that can resolve this problem and can help them into these areas. So yes, they do reach out. Customers who are, or partners who are close to us, they are very open. They want a solution. They will ask for a solution. Now,
do they ask for a tech solution?
They would probably bring it in a different dimension. They would bring it as, I want to know what's happening. I want to know how, what's going on a job site. I want to know where my stuff is. I want to have the right tool with the right person. I want my people to be productive, not to have a lot of waste time on job sites. So they would ask these questions. They will ask us these questions. Now, on our side, it is our role to show them, what is available in the market, because it is an industry that is growing and we are innovating in it. So we need to bring it in. So yes, there is this need in the market, because all the construction companies, they are aware of it. If they are not doing the move, if they're not taking the move, it is because they have internal challenges today. It is right. Because of the change management that is very complex in this industry, and this is why they are not, this is why it holds them, from moving forward. But yes, they know they need it, and if they don't take it, it's not because they don't need it. It is because they cannot adopt it.
Right. Why don't you tell me a little bit about OnTrack and the response you've gotten from the market?
Yeah. So yeah, one of the solutions that we have, and this is a solution that is having a lot of interest in the market, is OnTrack. OnTrack is our asset management program. With it, you can manage everything that moves within the company, and where it is. You have the visibility over it. You would reduce time over how you do inventories, let's say, like all these lost time that or lost hours that you spend, or your workers on job sites would lose just to find stuff,
or lost equipment,
or exactly, to find stuff, to search for it, or even being on job site without having the right product, which is having hours of non-productive work. So this is a solution that is solved all these problems today, and this is a solution that is going more and more automized. So today we reach a level where we are at the high percentage of automation in terms of OnTrack. So what we have, everything that moves within the company can be detected through Bluetooth, through Wi-Fi, through gateways, so van gateways, to heavy equipment gateways. So now we are able to build a full connected network where all the equipment can talk to each other first, and then can talk to the cloud, which is the on-track that is facing this is the customer-facing platform.
Right. And what sort of response have you gotten from the customers on this?
Customers want a solution like this. There is a huge need in the market for a solution like this. Some challenges in the market would be, are we able to implement it? Are we able to get our people using it? So this is a big challenge in the market today. But with bringing the solution to be more automized, bringing the solution to be tools talk to each other by themselves, they do transfer. Today we are in a phase where tools can transfer themselves from a location to another, just because like this connected web would catch it, would remove the implication of the worker. And this is where today change management or change is simpler.
This is something we've seen too, right? Like there's this whole era of tech and tools being more widely used and widely adopted, but not being simple, not being automized, not being automatic, and needing all these little touch points of like engagement and inaction by each of the individual users, the individual tools or admin processes, software, hardware, whatever it might be. Now we're seeing a lot of adoption because of lower barrier for access and entry, which of course is, I'm guessing, everything that OnTrack's going to be on.
Exactly, and this is what we see too. Now today when we reach out to customers. By the way, like we have like a very low churn when it comes to OnTrack, but we do reach out to customers and we talk about we bring in all these innovations that we're having, because when we launched OnTrack, it was basically a very simple process compared to what we have today, where yes, there were a lot of you need to scan, you need to transfer, everything needs to be scanned and transferred by the user on job site or in the office,
but no more.
No more, exactly, and this was the barrier. Unfortunately, today we have still some customers living with OnTrack in that era, where they are still trying to find a way to make it work, and that's why today we're reaching out to these customers with the innovations that we have, and they are seeing it as mind-blowing. Like I had customers who I had discussions with, and like I would tell them about what do you think if we reach a point where tools would communicate to each other and would transfer itself, and like you don't need to have your worker touching them or touching the system to be able to put the right information in the system. And customers would say this is a Star Wars innovation, and I hope I would be alive when this happens. And they would be surprised when we tell them we have it now.
Well, if I run into anybody who is still operating on the old OnTrack system, I'll make sure they reach out to you directly.
Yeah, exactly. We should.
Okay, so is there anything outside of OnTrack? Let's deviate from OnTrack for a minute and deviate from the hardware entirely. Is there any other tool in the more software side of Hilti that you want to speak on that you think is maybe misconstrued or misunderstood, or that you think the message out there, like you think is really innovative or new? Like, is there any other thing in your wheelhouse or under your umbrella that you want to talk about?
Fleet, it is our service that is attached to the tools. So it is what we call
right. OnTrack is the asset tracking, and Fleet is the health and of everything, of all the different Hilti tools.
Exactly. So Fleet is more of you don't own the tool, we own the tool. So we take this from your plate, so you can focus on your own business. You focus on how you make what you are good in, in terms of application, in terms of finishing the job, doing the job. This is where construction company they are good in, and we deal with, and we will take this part of tools, repairs, maintaining the tools, cycling in, cycling out the tools. So this is where Fleet is the right solution, where we take this in charge.
Are there data and tracking metrics that get used to make sure that the response time for the repairs and the servicing is done even better?
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to Fleet, definitely the service is part of it. So in fact, like small details that will improve productivity on job site that comes out of fleet. Like when we talk about them today, they are the industry standard. The companies are, they don't see these points. They see that it is cost of doing business. It is normal for us, let's say, to buy, twice the amount of tools that we need because we need to keep on working. So, but this is an investment, no? Mm-hmm. And companies also today would think that it is to be able to work and be, and not lose time on job sites. We need to have, let's say, boxes of brand new batteries waiting for the batteries on job sites to die, so we can replace on the spot. All these things means that you have an investment, you put dollars into something that is sitting on the shelf waiting to be used. And then what happens is, like, at one point you have double of what you have and 3 times more of the tools that you have. This is cost for sure, but and this is also creating a bigger problem in terms of operation, because like it takes X amount of time to manage 100 tools.
So Fleet keeps track of the servicing of tools that other people are using Fleet to then replace their inventory instead of having all these stockpiles of everything on back. Yeah. So what sort of intelligence and information does does Fleet get in order to make sure that things are serviced well?
Yeah, so Fleet, like we said, like Fleet is to manage the tools, manage the cycle in, cycle out the old tools, and as well as also with Fleet you can do preventive maintenance on the tools. So this is something that you would never have with any other brand in the market, because being on Fleet, tools belongs to us, so we do service them, and this is part of the cost of Fleet. Mm-hmm. Now Fleet also extend when we talk about the cordless tools, we're talking about the Nuron tools. Now, this is the new innovation that we have. Those are the smart tools. So today we are in an age where tools became smart. They do collect information while working, and this information gets transferred to the battery every time they are working. So whenever the tool is working, there is no need for any human intervention. The tool would communicate with its own battery, and the battery would collect this information. The batteries today are also in the part of this the smart platform, where batteries can collect information from multiple tools. They will collect information about what tools they work with, and
But does this go beyond just location and other tools that are in the box and battery level?
Yeah, so it goes beyond when you want to take decisions, for sure, like in terms of taking informed decision about if you want to invest in tools, if you what are the tools that are idle today on your business sitting on the shelf. This is money that's sitting on the shelf. Most of the times companies would tend to buy rather than to look for the tools. But also when it comes to the battery itself, and this is where the battery itself also diagnoses itself, as well as
diagnoses itself.
Yeah,
I mean beyond just like what percentage is remaining.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the percentage that is remaining. What you get is if the battery is performant up to the standard or not. So, and this goes up into analyzing a lot of different criteria, where if the battery is in terms of performance, it is performing well, if the cells are working well, if the electronics are okay. So this is all the information that the battery, when diagnosing, will get it.
So the battery is not just measuring the battery, it's measuring the tool and the longevity of the tool.
It's not measuring the tool, it's measuring itself, right? Okay. So we do measure the battery in terms of the productivity and the performance of the battery. When it comes to the tool, it is location and idle time. Those are the two things that we'll do. But beyond this, the batteries with this information would send you as a user today information. In fact, it will send you a message over Teams. And this is funny because now batteries would send you messages and say, okay, I am a battery that belongs to your company. In OnTrack, I'm associated to Ramy, and I am on that job site, and you will have the Google location of the job site, right? And I need to be exchanged. Ramy doesn't know that I'm losing productivity because last time I was used, it was 4 minutes ago. So obviously he doesn't know, but I need to be exchanged. And this is where on the app, if it is on the phone or even on the desktop, it's 2 clicks. You click on exchange the battery, you select the location, and we Hilti, we would send you a replacement battery to your location to replace this battery that is still working today. Mm-hmm. But we know that it may die at any moment after.
And it's not performing as well as it could be.
Exactly. And today, what happened with this process, we do renew the battery before it goes into this steep productivity loss.
Got it. Right? So there is a window of time when productivity goes down fast.
Exactly.
But it's still operational.
Exactly. And this is where today, if you go on a job site, and you look at the batteries, you may find batteries that are still running and on a job site that are six years old. Mm-hmm. And we all know that 6 years back, the technology of battery is not the same as today. So definitely there is something wrong, but on a job site, if the battery is giving power, they will keep on using it.
Yeah.
But what is the level of power now? We don't know. What is the level of productivity that they get out of the tool with such a battery? We don't know. And this is what impacts the labor after.
And this is what smart technology actually means in a very practical sense on jobs. It 100%. Means not just that things are able to have all these bells and whistles, but that it's doing its job of keeping everything at max output across the board.
100%. Because today, if we measure it in markets, in big markets where a labor would cost around $1.50, mm-hmm. A minute. And this is where we do the calculation. We do a calculation of a trigger time. What would be a trigger time during a day? And I would say a trigger time during a day, all tools combined, would be probably between an hour to 2 hours. Right? This is the 100% trigger time. Let's calculate this and do the math over the cost of $1.5 a minute. And if you have 10% less productive tool,
even 4.
Exactly. So this is
scale.
Exactly. Even whatever the percentage you would put, because the dollars are huge, you would see that what you will be losing in productivity just because your worker is working with a tool mm-hmm. that is 1, 5, 10% less performant is way more than what will all tools all together cost you in a full year.
So you guys are doing the money ball of power tools.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's extend this. Let's end this up, but let's extend this to the industry, right? We're seeing across the industry when it comes to tech and tools and efficiencies and change management, we're seeing the same mantra of optimization, mm-hmm. which on one hand, it's just completely automating and doing away with inefficient processes, which is exactly where people's heads should be at. But then the next step and the eventual next step is obviously going to be, how do we make sure that things are optimized across the board at scale? Which in this instance, talking about Nuron, mm-hmm. is about making sure that you're using the best batteries that have the most power across the board and that you're avoiding that dip in efficiency at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that same mentality as being like where everyone's head is at in the industry? Or is it not, is that just too far afield? Like I'm trying to think about where do we see things going in the future? Unavoidably, it's going to have to be in that same direction, but where do you think people are at right now?
It depends. Honestly, we don't see it everywhere. People are still stuck into like, I want to buy a tool that is on promotion, that is today cost, I don't know, like $50 less, and they don't see the impact of this tool over, this worker that is costing them $100 an hour. Mm-hmm. So unless we explain it, we go in details. There is, I'm not saying that everyone is thinking this way, but still we have those old habits, and like I said, all industry standards, all industry, know-hows, cost of doing business. Today, there is a lot of companies who says, I know that, they will lose money, or I'm losing money because tools will be less productive, but because there is no other way, this is cost of doing business. Like, I'm in this industry, I would keep on investing, and this is where, yes, I would throw money out of the window, but if not, I won't move forward. And this is where I believe, like, awareness is important. Like, this is where, people seeing those small details into their industry or into the construction industry, that they have a chain effect on the productivity.
Right.
Yes, the tool is a $200 tool for a huge company. It's nothing, but what is this $200 tool impacting at the end? This is where, this link today need to be more.
So you've got to take the long view.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when you're talking about tech adoption and everything, it's funny because it in a corner of my brain, it makes sense that construction would be the last ones to take the long view, because we're constantly dealing with the problems that are immediate and necessary right now. But you kind of need to have that long view in order to make optimal decisions that are going to affect it in the long term.
Yeah, and the industry, they don't honestly, the industry would not have a chance if they don't switch. If we don't change this mindset, they will, like, at one point, we won't have workers anymore.
Yeah.
And at one point, the building would be too expensive to anyone to afford it, and as well as for the construction companies, they won't be making profit because they would need the competition would be high.
So what's happening right now then?
Yeah. So
that's what's
exactly. When we have a challenge in the market, we reach a point where everybody is fighting over crumbles, no?
Mm-hmm.
So and this is where like I have customers who adopted Fleet and OnTrack, and like, I would say probably like 7-8 years ago, and they are on the second renewal or the third renewal in terms of renewing their tools, progressing with us on OnTrack, progressing with us with all the innovation. And yes, like when you talk about them, you say, okay, they have everything they have in terms of tools, they have it on Fleet, and they have OnTrack embedded. For a customer who is resistant, they would think they are crazy because it's costing them too much. They're paying too much. They are not benefiting from the like end of month deal, where you have one tool and whatever, and it chisels for free. But in reality, those customers today are the contractors who have jobs.
Right. Because
they were able to be lean, they were able to embed the technology into their business, and they were able today to benefit from all this buildup of technology that we have in the industry, in digitalization, where they can run leaner, they can be more profitable, and they can have their business or job sites running as they expect, and no surprise, no risk, or minimal risk in their case. Yes, so these customers have jobs.
We need to change the mindset. We need to take the long-form view.
For sure.
Okay, I want to thank you for the time. Really appreciate the conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Me too, thank you. Have a good day.